Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for your patience as we've worked through today's incident on campus. I'm Kevin Best, Senior Director of Media Relations here at UNC, and I'm joined up here by UNC-Chapel Hill Chancellor Kevin Guskowitz, UNC Police Chief Brian James, and Chapel Hill Police Chief Salisa Leahy. Following their remarks today, we will take a few questions, but for now I'm going to turn it over to UNC Chancellor Kevin Guskowitz.
So thank you for being here today. It's sad and alarming that there have now been 2 lockdowns over the past 16 days on our campus where we've had to apprehend individuals who have violated the safety and well-being of our community. This afternoon at 12:54 p.m. an Alert Carolina was activated because of reports at the student union of a person who brandished a weapon. UNC police reported no shots were fired. Fortunately, after an hour and 15-minute lockdown, law enforcement determined that there was no longer an immediate threat to campus. We issued an all-clear message at approximately 2:10 p.m. The suspect is now in custody. UNC police are working closely with Chapel Hill Police Department to gather information and continue their thorough and professional response. This incident had no relation to the shooting on our campus. Had no relation to the shooting on our campus on Monday, August the 28th. However, the news of another armed person and a second lockdown on our campus is concerning and can be traumatic. As a result, we've canceled on-campus classes for the rest of the day, and we will resume all classes tomorrow. I've sent a campus email with further details, including mental health resources for our community members. Thank you to our faculty, our staff, and our students for their cooperation and patience as we continue to strive to keep our community safe. I want to be clear that guns are prohibited on this campus and every campus across the state of North Carolina. Today's events further underscore the importance of everyone working collectively to know our safety protocols, follow our emergency action plan, and support one another, because incidents such as this are all too common. I'm grateful to the UNC Police Department, our emergency operations team, and the Chapel Hill Police Department for managing this situation quickly and efficiently. Thankfully, no one was injured. But imagine the stress, the trauma, and the anxiety that a second lockdown in 16 days has caused for our students, our faculty, and our staff. This pains me as a member of this community now for over 28 years, and I'm committed to doing everything possible to maintain the safety of all those who work, learn, and live here at Carolina. I'll now turn it over to Chief James to give you the details of what happened today. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Brian James. I'm the Chief of Police for University of North Carolina. We are again disheartened by the incident that happened today on Carolina's campus. I would like to thank the UNC Police Department, the town of Chapel Hill Police, the Orange County Sheriff's Office, the Carrboro Police Department, and the North Carolina Highway Patrol for their quick response in keeping the campus community safe. Here are the updates we have to share from today's situation. At approximately 12:45 p.m., UNC Police 911 received an emergency call detailing a situation inside the Carolina Student Union. Once the situation was confirmed, UNC Police immediately took action and went on lockdown at approximately 12:54 p.m. According to witnesses, the suspect confronted an employee of Alpine Bagel, which is inside the union, and displayed a firearm and threatened the employee. He then fled the scene in a vehicle. The suspect, Mikhail Deontay Harris, was apprehended by the town of Chapel Hill Police Department at approximately 2:45 p.m. in the 300 block of Formosa Lane. Harris was arrested on an outstanding order for arrest and was being sought in connection with the incident on Carolina's campus. UNC Police, with the assistance of the Town of Chapel Hill Police Department, is continuing follow-up on this case, and charges on the suspect are pending. UNC Police will continue to be diligent in ensuring the safety of the campus community, especially during peak times of the day, to provide reassurance to our campus community. Thank you, and at this time, I'll turn it back to Kevin.
Okay, thank you. As I mentioned, we'll have time for a few questions. If you do have a question, please raise your hand. We will get a microphone to you, and we'll go first row right here. Please identify yourself and your outlet.
Aaron Sanchez-Guerra, News and Observer. Question for Chancellor and also the Chief. Why was the all clear issued about 30 minutes before the arrest of the suspect? And I ask that in good faith, knowing that this situation is very different from the tragedy that happened. But still, I wanted to ask that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad to answer that. We were conducting a follow-up during that time, and we received confirmation that the suspect was not on campus. So we had good information that we were acting on. Of course, we wanted to ensure that the campus was safe. We did a number of sweeps around the grounds of campus, as well as the outer perimeter, and we had assurance that the suspect was not, in fact, on campus.
Gilat Malamed, CBS 17. Regarding where the incident happened or where the suspect went afterwards, was there camera footage or surveillance of him? And if so, why did that not go out to the public and to news outlets to show people this armed and dangerous person they should, be on the lookout for and avoid, of course?
We are still in the process of reviewing camera footage. Keep in mind, we do have a number of cameras on campus, and oftentimes...
Apologize, I was relaying something back to a producer, but what was the connection and or no connection at all between the suspect and arriving at the Alpine Bagel Shop inside Student Union?
At this time, we are exploring what the relationship was. We believe that there was some type of connection. We certainly don't know what the motive is at this point, but that'll only be discovered through interviews of witnesses and possibly the suspect if he chooses to speak with us.
Janice Price with ABC 11. I was speaking with students today who said that by the time they received those text alerts, they were already in a locked room. Is there a reason why the alerts came out a little bit later?
So I'm not sure which students you were speaking with. What I would say is this, is that when we respond to a situation, we have to confirm it first before we go into a full lockdown. That is a concern. I would say also that throughout the country, there have been reports where people have made false calls. So it is important that we go to the location and actually confirm before we issue a lockdown notification. Those particular students may have actually witnessed something that caused them to shelter in place, which that action is totally appropriate. If they actually witnessed something, that is totally appropriate. But we do have to confirm from a law enforcement perspective before we go into a full lockdown.
Hi, Kelly Kendall, Carolina Week. Chancellor Guskowitz, my question is for you. I want to know, as not only as a reporter, but as a student of this campus, how do students return to campus feeling safe after not one, but two of these incidents?
Yes, as I've already said, this is the second situation in 16 days, and while, as I've already said, unrelated, there's likely to be anxiety and trauma for our students. It's why we decided to cancel classes for the rest of the day, so that people could, take an opportunity to sit back, reflect on this, and so it saddens me that we've had two situations in a little over 2 weeks, and so we've got a lot of support, for the students, for the faculty, staff. I hope that they'll access any resources that they may need as they're processing this, and as I said, we're going to do everything possible to reassure everyone that visits this campus, lives, learns, works here, that this is a safe place to be.
Hi, Denise McMillan with WFNY News 2. You mentioned that Michael was connected to another assault. Was that connected to a situation on campus, and was he a student?
We had an incident on September 5th in the town of Chapel Hill at Old Durham Road and Scarlet, in which an investigation led us to seeking charges on Mikkel Harris for assault-related incident. It's assault by pointing a gun, communicating threats, and going armed to the terror of the public.
Was this, when you said there was an outstanding warrant, it was for that?
For that incident related to the September 5th incident, those charges related to that.
I have a question for the Chancellor, but did anyone else have questions for the Chief? Okay. Chancellor Guskowitz, after the last shooting, I had heard anecdotally that there were families that were driving into Chapel Hill to pick up their freshmen, take them back home. You know, I talked to a student today who has anxiety and said, just like last time, she grabbed her anxiety pills right away for a panic attack. I know you've kind of talked about this already, but what's your message really for families as well of like, how do they feel safe sending their students here and entrusting them to stay here and continue their education?
Sure. I mean, I think one of the things that we've learned is that people process and respond to these situations in different ways. It's why the counselors and therapists and everyone that we've had on campus and those resources that I've already talked about are so important. And we just want to reassure everyone on campus that you need to reach out. We need, you know, to access those resources. We have to stand up and support one another. As I've said before, we stood strong together a little over 2 weeks ago in this situation. We've had a lot of parents reach out to us and thank us for the way in which they felt that their student had been supported over this, following that tragedy from August 28th. We've had those, though, who, like you've already indicated, said, I need to just take my child home for a few days to process this. And so we want everyone to sort of process this, grieve in the way that they need to. And this situation, fortunately, as I've said, nobody was injured, but yet twice in 16 days, there will be anxiety. And we want to just, again, reassure everyone that we have the support systems in place to help. We have incredible faculty here that are working with students. Who we did lose 2 days of classes back at the end of the month, and the faculty are working to help make up that time and work with students that needed additional time, and we'll do the same thing for those that missed class this afternoon.
Hi, Carly Haynes, WRAL. I was wondering if there are any changes to your emergency response between the August 28th shooting and the incident from today, anything that we learned from that previous incident?
As I said before, we had a plan. We had been preparing, sadly, for a day like that. You hope you never have to activate that plan, but we had a good plan. We have a good plan. We have a better plan today and protocol today because, as we've learned from colleagues around the country who have been through situations like this, that you have to review what happened. We've started that process already. We heard that many of the community members wanted to have more frequent updates through different means of communication, and so we acted on that already, and we were able to put that into play today. So that is one of the things that we've learned. As I said, there's no perfect response, but I'm really pleased with the way the teams, everybody, responded today, and we will learn from today as well. I don't know, Chief, you may want to add something more.
I'll just speak from the law enforcement response, and I'll say from the August 28th incident and today's incident, everyone responded as they were supposed to. Our UNC police officers immediately organized themselves, went into buildings, cleared areas, and our partners got here very quickly to help us establish a perimeter around campus and also help us to clear buildings as needed. So we continually train and we review our response, and just do everything we can just to keep this campus safe. And we're very proud of the way that we responded. However, we stand here again hoping that this never happens again.
Back row.
Emmy Martin with the Daily Tar Heel. This is follow up on a previous question, but why was there a 10-minute gap between that first 911 call and the first Alert Carolina message sent to students?
So again, we had to respond to the area, and it's to those that know Carolina, known as the pit at the Student Union. We had to confirm what happened, and that was confirmed through interviews with the staff at Alpine Bagel to get exact information and to just be assured that this did in fact happen before we sent an alert. We certainly don't ever want to send out an alert and it's not warranted, because when we have to send it out in a time when it's critical, people may not pay attention to it. So we want people to be assured that anytime that alert goes out for a lockdown, that people take it very seriously and act accordingly.
Okay, we'll take one more question here in the back row. There. Yeah, middle.
What additional security measures have been put in place since those last 16 days?
So we are under a process of review. We have talked about additional security measures. That could be response to an active shooter or an active assailant. That could also involve technology upgrades. Those are some things that we're looking at now, but quite honestly, we were still in an after-action review process from the August 28th update, and many of the things that we may implement in the future it just hasn't been enough time to implement many new measures. But like the Chancellor said, one of the asks from the last incident was that we update more regularly with information, and I think we were able to do that today.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. We'll continue to provide you more information as we have it, but that'll conclude today's press conference. Thank you.